Good afternoon. I will be discussing, my name is Austin Lekay. I'll be discussing periodization of Olympic lifting for my team. My team that I chose, they are a rugby team that plays for the Super Rugby Pacific League. They are a professional team. The name of this team is NS Waratahs. They're currently off season, so the league is finished and they didn't make the finals. They didn't make to compete for the finals because of how low they finished in the league. They finished 8th, which is at the bottom. That's the bottom 4. They're in the bottom 4 of the league, which is at the bottom. I will also be, the program is designed for the defensive line, which will be the forwards of the team. So the aim of this of the program, I'm going to design program, a 10-week program to improve the performance of the Waratahs. I'm going to design the program to improve their performance in the league. We're going to be focusing on Olympic lifting to build explosive power and foundational strength, functional strength. The phases will be, so there is phases in the program, we can adjust it accordingly. There's from 1 to 4 phases. And so before I write up my program, what I'll do, I'll conduct an analysis to understand where their weaknesses lie. So one of the major weaknesses for this team, as you can see in this image over here, they lost 4 out of 5 games, only winning 1 game. They scored a decent amount of points, scoring 132 points in these 5 games. And the opposing teams, even though they lost, they scored a similar amount as the opposing team, which is 138. They all unfortunately have less points than the teams that versed them when comparing the totals. So that indicates to me that one of the major fixes that's needed is their defense. So as you can see, the points scored against them is more than the points than what they scored. So a lot of points were scored against them, and that is also the reason why they lost their games. Most of the games, when analyzing and checking the data, was quite close games, but so they were able to get the points, but they could not hold up a proper defensive line. So the goals, the SMART goals of my program, so we have our intention, we're going to improve. The goal is to improve explosive power of the forwards. Now we're going to measure this. We're going to let them do one rep max. That's how we're going to know if they improved or not. So we will be, so to achieve this, I will be throwing up a 10-week program with phases to make sure that they achieve this successfully. Olympic lifting, so that's why I chose and why it's relevant to this program and to the defenders. Olympic lifting builds a high output of explosive power, which is needed when on the defensive line. Obviously doing this in 10 weeks, so for the time bound. Exercise selection, so while Olympic lifts, like I said, it generates a high amount of explosive power. You're moving heavy weights at fast speeds. So it's heavy lifting. It requires functional strength, not just isolated strength doing isolated movements. That's not going to translate well into rugby. That's why I also put down there, it's very dynamic in sports. So the exercise that I chose power cleans, power snatches, clean and jerk, and the power clean front squat. So the regressions of these exercises I'll explain here. Power clean from blocks, that's for our power cleans. Now I'm going to explain the benefit of the power clean. So this is going to train the explosive launch in the defensive line. So the strains from going from a stagnant position, standing still on the defensive line, waiting for the waiting for the whistle when of like in a kickoff. It trains the players to go from 0 to 100 in a short amount of time. It's also gonna, like I said, it's gonna sharpen the nervous system for quick reaction times. So the hang power snatch, that is gonna be the regression of a power snatch. So this is gonna train peak peak explosive power. So this movement it's more dynamic than the power clean. It's gonna train that hip extension, that triple extension for players to really explode. And then we have the split jerk, the regression of the clean and jerk. So this is gonna train fundamentals in tackling for the athletes. This is gonna build strength when in a lower center of gravity, and help the players to drive into the ground and going for the tackles, so they're not knocked over when they go for the tackles. And being knocked in rugby, it breaks the defensive line for the other teams to score tries. Finally, we have our power clean front squats. So in the first two phases, I discussed there are 4 phases. The first 2 phases is gonna be a lot. It's gonna be easier because you're introducing the exercise to the athletes, and then from there onwards, there's gonna be a progression. So the progression is the power clean and the front squat. With the regression, we're gonna focus on the front squat. This is gonna build power in the legs. This is gonna build strong glutes, strong power muscles for them to perform these other exercises very well as well. So there's also, so the power clean and the front squat, this is gonna train, just like the power clean on top, is gonna train force absorption. So because of the nature of the exercise, when you're lifting and catching that weight, you're absorbing a lot of force, which is similar to the collisions in a rugby game. As a forward, you're constantly colliding, and that's something that you have to work on. If not, in a collision, you're going to be off balance and unstable. And like I said, if you don't have that strong foundation, like driving the ground like with the split jerk, then you will be knocked over and the opposition will score. So examples of the exercises, here we have the power clean. First exercise. As you can see, starting from the ground, exploding and catching the weight, the force absorption. And great triple extension there as well. And as you can see, we're starting from a stagnant position as well with the power clean and going immediately into a high work rate. Here you can see the snatches. So this is the straight snatch, not the hang snatch. Get the weight cat. As you can see, when you catch it, that's training the force absorption. And also in the exploding phase, look at his hips extended, knees extended, ankles extended, and this requires a high explosive output because you literally moving the barbell from the ground into the air and catching it right there. Front squat, very simple, building leg strength over here. Starting from the end phase of the clean, going into the squat. Engaging the core as well to keep stable. And here we have the split jerk. Yeah, I will pause it at the phase where she's diving into the ground. Over here you can see a foot, the lower center of gravity, is in that power position, diving into the ground, engaging the core as well and the posterior chain to stabilize yourself and keep that barbell up. Okay, now we're going to discuss the program. Here we have phase 1, weeks 1 to 3. For this, the intensity is quite low. We're going to have a moderate intensity, 4 sessions a week. The repetitions will be high. So the goal, because the repetitions is high, the goal, I'll do they reason now? So we're focusing on improving the technical abilities of the athletes to perform the movements, and this is also because of the intensity is low, that is to get the athletes used to the load. Otherwise we're going to have early injuries, which we do not want. Phase 2, now we're progressing, we are increasing the intensity. It's again 4 sessions a week as well. Now that the players got used to the movements, they're gonna need more weight because now they're using their actual strength. So phase 3, we're picking for phase 3. This is the progression. Now we're doing the full exercises: the power snatch, the power clean, the clean and jerk, the power clean and front squat all together. Here we're gonna do, so the volume is gonna decrease, doing a lot less reps for very high intensity. So intensity is quite high for this one. The goal here is obviously to maximize strength and power output, strength and explosive power output. Phase 4, here we are now on the deload from weeks 9 to 10. So we're taking a break, giving the body a break from all the stress from the previous weeks that we had. So here intensity drops and the volume drops. The volume stays similar to when the intensity was really high. But here for the deload, intensity high, volume quite low. We're also gonna do only 3 sessions to give the body a rest. That's gonna prevent injuries and give the body like enough time to adapt to the physiological gains. So here we have phase 1, weeks 1 to 6. So sets, and I have 4 sets. Reps are high, they range up to 10. Intensity quite moderate, between 60 and 65. Then we are by phase 2, the reps are decreasing, intensity is increasing. Intensity is about 75 to 80. Then we have phase 3, we'll be having our highest intensities ranging from 80 to 90%. Our reps are low, the lowest it's been compared to the previous phases of 3 reps, as you can see. Sets range from 5 to 4. And we're doing the full exercises as well. And on the deload, we still keeping the same volume, low sets, low reps, and the intensity is now moderate, the same as it was in weeks 1 when we were getting used to the exercises. Now on the deload, we're just focusing on adaptation and resting the body from prior stress. So weekly layout here, Monday, so we have our 4 days of the week, Monday to Friday. We're getting the rest on the Wednesday and the weekend, the Saturday and the Sunday. So Monday we have the box power cleans, we have the front squats. Tuesday, hang snatch and split jerk. Thursday, the box power clean and front squat. And Friday, hang power snatch and split jerk. So here for our progression, this is now phases 2 and phases 3 and 4. We're going to be working on the Monday, Tuesday, and the Friday. So we'll be resting. So Monday, Tuesday, resting for 2 days, and then we'll go to work on Friday again, and then they have the weekend to rest. So on the Monday we're doing the power cleans and the power clean and front squat. Tuesday we're doing the power snatch and the clean and jerk, and then 2 days rest. Friday, power snatch and clean and jerk. And for Olympic lifting as well, you want to rest between 3 and 4 minutes because of the high output and the high explosive output and the nature of the exercise. You want to make sure you get enough rest so you have the adequate amount of energy to go in and perform the way you want to. Thank you.